Hey yo, so Fright Night begins on this scary ass looking house. It looks like the Michael Myers house, if I had a clue. And you hear the background, and it's a old horror movie, probably like from the '60s, from the Hammer era. The verbiage is so wild. It's like, your skin is so pale, so luminescent. And then you hear the most cringiest kiss I ever heard in my life.
Would you like to kiss them?
I think it's like, and then the fangs come out, ding, and then your boy Peter Vincent comes out, you know, and he has his steak, and they show the shot, and his steak is backwards, and he comes in like this. Obviously, they're making fun of the vampire era, while on the side, your boy Charlie Brewster is trying to smash. Hey, yo, so we pan over to the shot of the bed, and then we see them on the floor, surrounded by a bunch of pillows, you know what I'm saying, getting their own kissy, you know, that touchy-feely, that bumpy grind that we used to do back in the day. I know I'm old. Can I say bump and grind still because of the whole R. Kelly thing?
Close your eyes, show me your face. I'm gonna piss on it.
Whatever, I'm getting off topic, but yeah, they're, you know what I'm saying, they're getting their bump and grind on, and Amy pops up, and hey, it's Peter Vincent on TV, and he was like, fuck Peter Vincent, but he's your favorite. Like, I don't give a fuck, I'm trying to get in them drawers. Charlie begins to push the issue a little bit. He tries to get him a little side titty, a little bit more side titty, and Amy is not fucking having it. She's like, I don't know, stop it, Charlie. You know, obviously, she's never had her back blown out. What I mean by that, she's a virgin. So Charlie apologizes, and then Amy's feeling it now. She seems like she's ready. So she jumps into bed, you know what I'm saying? Takes off her blouse and is about to go down.
Charlie, I'm ready.
Charlie notices two people carrying what looks like could be a coffin inside of the house. So Charlie says, Amy, this is some people carrying a coffin inside of this house. And she's like, yeah, right, and they're on the moors. And he gets really pissed. She gets really pissed, and she runs out of the room, and no booty for him tonight, you know what I'm saying? You're like, you was about to smash, son. That was like, the vampire, you was like, Peter Vincent, why you didn't say fuck them vampires, son? You know, or could they be vampires? What's going on? It is kind of weird, you know, two people carrying a coffin in the house in the middle of the night, but, you know, what's more important, you know what I'm saying? That coffin, the dead, or that living booty, son? So Charlie's back from school. As soon as he get back from school, a very attractive lady steps out of a taxi. Is she a hooker? I mean, all signs point that she's probably a hooker. So the next day in school, we're in the lunchroom, and Amy comes over to rekindle things, rekindle their relationship. I'm sorry, it was my fault. And then when the news comes on, he sees the same prostitute that he's seen walk in the house.
The second victim, whose body was found early this morning, was a known prostitute.
And the news reporter says, a lady has been killed last night. She was a known prostitute. Like, how you know she was a known prostitute, son? Huh? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you got a record, or do you know that she was a prostitute? If you know what I'm saying, right?
Fuck you, fat bitch. Fuck you, whore.
Evil comes in and gives more details. Their heads were chopped out and the blood was drained or whatever. Amy's so pissed. I don't know why you're so pissed. He's just watching the news, you know what I'm saying? He's not, you know what I'm saying? He's not trying to ignore you like there's something really going on, but he is kind of ignoring her at the same time. So she walks over to homeboy who had this perfectly sloppy Joe right here and slams it in his face, and it just mushes his shit down. And I was like, God, dog, bro, that was a perfectly good sloppy Joe.
Oh, you're so cool, Brewster.
So Charlie's back from school, so he decides he's want to commit a little felony, a little B&E to see what's going on with the neighbors. So he starts to go in their little shack and open it up, and then bam! What you doing, kid? And it's,
hey, kid! What are you doing?
weird motherfucker pop off called Billy Cole, yo. Now, Billy Cole looks like Jack Tripper from Three's Company, who old enough to remember that. He's just a weird guy that's kind of around the house. What exactly is he? We'll get into that later. All right, this is our first look at Jerry Dandridge, the vampire. And I like to call this scene Fuck around and find out, because you know Charlie's up late night watching Fright Night, you know what I'm saying, peeping my man window, which I believe is a felony. I don't think you can do that shit, but anyway, he's peeping in the window. Jerry got another bad one, son. He got another bad one, so he's just peeping. He got the binoculars. Oh yeah, ooh, all God. I don't know if he's ready to bust a nut or he want to tell on a vampire at this point, because he's still horn dog as fuck. So yeah, right now Jerry Dandridge's theme come on, one of the illest themes for a vampire ever created. That doo-doo dog. Jerry Dandridge sees Charlie in the window, you know what I'm saying, right before he's about to take his late night snack. He had 2 snacks, if you know what I mean. And then all of a sudden in the frame, you see these long ass Lee press-on nails that's kind of dirty and nasty, and it cut with that ill vampire music, and that's when the shenanigans about to begin. Fuck around and find out, Charlie. So at this point, there's no doubt in his mind that he knows this dude's his vampire. He done seen the fangs, he done seen the Lee press-on nails, he's trying to wake his mother up. Yo, our neighbor has fangs, he's a motherfucking vampire, he's gonna kill us all, you know what I'm saying? They're like, fangs, bitch, I gotta go to work in the morning, you know what I'm saying? I gotta go to work, I don't wanna hear that shit. And then we see another shot, he sneaks outside, seeing them carry the body in a Jeep and shit like that. Jerry Dandridge jumps off the roof because he's a bat and shit, just lands on the ground like, yo, you forgot this shit, threw him the purse. And let's say something about Jerry Dandridge right here. This motherfucker has the illest vampire outfit on, dog. He got a long leather trench coat on, looks like some shit out of Wrath of Khan with the Scooby-Doo ascot, son, eating a pimp apple and shit. You know what I'm saying? If a vampire was a pimp, it'd probably be Jerry Dandridge. Anyway, he's eating an apple. I didn't think vampires can eat apples, but if y'all know any vampires out there, let me know if they can eat apples or whatever. But like, he bits in half and, like, you know, throws it towards. Maybe it's just like a teething thing for vampires or some shit. I don't know. I always was questioned about like how he's just eating apples and shit. You know, I just thought they, you know, sucked on the blood of the living. Let me know in the comments below if there are vampires out there. All right, now so like Charlie's off his robber. He's a vampire. Everybody, he's a vampire.
The guy did have fangs, and a bat did fly over my head, and a second later, he stepped out of the shadows. And don't you see what that means?
Wait, let me guess. What?
He's a vampire.
A what? A what?
He's a vampire. I'm gonna go to the police. I want to speak to the manager.
He's choking me!
Ma'am.
You know what I'm saying? So what does he do? Charlie runs to the police and about, you know what I'm saying, snitch on my man. When my man was just minding his own business. I mean, like, he was just, come on now. He was just killing hookers. Like, the hookers not real people, you know? So at this point, Charlie's telling, he's snitching on everybody. Police come over. Oh, excuse me, one policeman come over. He just said, this dude has committed all the murders that you're looking for. Let's send one black policeman over. Of course they don't believe him. You know what I'm saying? You're full of shit. Like, oh, let's check the basement. What's down there, Jerry? A coffin. Yeah, you'll find Jerry Dandridge sleeping the undead. Yeah, right, son. If I ever see your ass down here, I'm throwing your ass in the jail forever. So, like, yeah, that's the last we see of the police the rest of this movie, because, like, yeah, you're full of shit. As soon as you said vampire, we was out. But let there have been, you know, my neighborhood, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, what's down there? And I'd have been like, a white woman. Oh, squads, helicopters and shit would have came down, you know what I'm saying? It's a white woman tied up downstairs in the basement. Oh, that'd have been it. So your boy Charlie's expecting all the smoke tonight by Jerry Dandridge. So what's he do? He goes over his friend Evil's house to give all the advice. He gives him $8. Give me all the advice you know about vampires to protect myself, you know. I have to be, so Evil gives him the whole spiel. Yeah, you can use holy water, you know, wear the garlic around your neck, the cross, but you must have faith. And never let him in your house, only if he invited you. He must have an invitation to come into the house.
But your best protection right now, Charles, is that a vampire cannot enter your house without being invited by the rightful owner first.
The thing is, though, like, motherfucker, don't you watch Fright Night every night? Isn't Peter Vincent your hero? Isn't he about killing vampires? How do you not know none of this shit, Charlie? At this point, Charlie's getting ready for the super vampire attack, but he knows he can't, the vampire can't come in without being invited. So his mom calls him downstairs, he rushes downstairs, and then BAM! You hit with that Jerry Dandridge music, and what do you see? The vampire himself, Jerry Dandridge, and the look on Charlie's face looked like he shit himself 3 times over. That's right, 3 times over when you seen that vampire in the crib.
Charlie, this is our next door neighbor, Jerry Dandridge.
Hello, Charlie.
And the motherfucking Jerry Dandridge says the most pimp shit ever. He's like, what? You didn't think I would come over if I wasn't invited, did you? Now that I've been invited with your mother's permission, I'll come over anytime I feel like it.
Of course, now that I've been made welcome, I'll probably drop by quite a bit. In fact, anytime I feel like it.
Told you I'll pay your monkey ass when I feel like it.
I was like, damn, son, that's some pimp vampire shit. That's what make him a cool vampire, you know what I'm saying? Because he's like smooth, calm, and collected, but at the same time, you know he'll fuck you up. Tonight's that night, fool. Jerry Dandridge, the vampire, coming over for all that smoke, son. All that smoke. Locked his mother in the room, grabs Charlie by the neck, picks him up. I love the scene, you know why? Because it shows the power of Jerry Dandridge. Picks him up, throws him across the room. You choked on the water. So now Jerry Dandridge want all the motherfucking smoke, right? He gave him a chance to live, you know what I'm saying? Charlie went with that, so he said, I'm coming back tomorrow night to finish you off. And what does Charlie do? He goes to his favorite vampire killer, Peter Vincent, to ask for his help. My question is, you know he's a mythological, blood-sucking demon, and you're gonna go to ask for help from a Hollywood actor. I know he's a kid, but this doesn't seem like the smart move. So anyway, he confronts Peter Vincent and say, yo, will you help me kill this vampire tomorrow night? Like sneak in his house and kill him, which is basically murder. And Peter Vincent like blows him off like, you are crazy, son, you are crazy.
He's gonna be back after me tonight, Mr. Vincent. And if I don't get help, he's gonna kill me. Mr. Vincent, Mr. Vincent, please, just listen to me for a second. No, wait, please, Mr. Vincent, wait.
It's kind of sad at this point because like you kind of feel sorry a little bit for Charlie. Like no one believes there's a vampire living next door. It's crazy though, but he could have got out of this situation if he wasn't such a snitch, you know what I'm saying? He should just let bygones be bygones. You're dealing with a literal monster. You're not gonna be able to fuck with Jerry Dandridge. Just let it go. He's a vampire. He can fly like a bat, you know what I'm saying? He can seduce your bitch. We'll get to that. So Ed, AKA Evil, and Amy pull up to Charlie's house to check on his well-being, a wellness check, if you will. And then this spree right here in this shot, man, I always wanted that spree coming up. Like some of the drug dealers around the way had that way, but like I was never really good at selling drugs or really sold drugs too much, so I never had a spree, but I always wanted this exact spree, this gold one right here. That boy was fire. So the whole gang is here. They arrive at Jerry Dandridge's house. Peter Vincent's here to prove that he is not a creature of the night, a vampire. But gotta give it up to Jerry Dandridge when he comes around that corner in his tight Bill Cosby, Steve Jobs turtleneck, eating the apple again like a pimp, son. Yo, the shade that Jerry Dandridge throws at Peter Vincent.
Mr. Vincent, I've seen all of your films, and I've found them very amusing.
Oh, thank you.
Like, I've seen all your films, and I find them quite amusing. Shade, son, from a real motherfucking vampire to a phony. to a supposed phony, like, you ain't shit compared to me, how me? So the introductions go down, right? Yeah, they meet Ed, Mr. Vincent, and then he lays his eyes on Amy, and immediately Amy coochie gets wet, son.
Charmed.
She was like, oh my God, he's neat. He kisses her hand. He looks at her like he seen her a lifetime before. It looks exactly like her. Matter of fact, he has a picture, you know, in his crib of Amy. He got a picture of Charlie. He got a picture of your girl, son. How does that make you feel? You already look like a damn fool. Now you about to get your woman took too? So at this point, they all gathered around the fire. Peter Vincent hands him the fake holy water, but how does the vampire actually know that it's not fake? He holds it by the fire for a minute, I guess warms it up. I guess it's some type of vampire trick he can tell. Or was Jerry Dandridge taking a big chance, you know what I'm saying, by swallowing that? And he would have blistered and turned to the, you know, the crazy vampire that we seen earlier in the film and just ripped everybody's head off. But he took a big risk. Everybody believes he's not a vampire, you know. I think Charlie even calms down for the sake of his friends so he don't get them killed. And then Peter Vincent sees no reflection of Jerry Dandridge in the mirror, and then he shits his pants, bro. This nigga's scared immediately, you know what I'm saying? He shook. And ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. So Charlie decides to walk Amy home with evil Ed. And then Ed decides to go his separate ways because he still believes, like, he doesn't believe in vampires and all this shit. Even though he has all the knowledge of vampires from all the movies, he don't believe in vampires, right?
You're gonna get yours someday.
Oh, yeah, when I'm bit by a vampire, there are no such things as vampires, fruitcake.
That's until Jerry Dandridge busts down in his Orange Juice Jones costume. If you don't know who Orange Juice Jones is, he used to sing I saw you and Amy walking in the rain. And he ends up, you know what I'm saying, cornering him and, you know, biting him. You like you don't want to be the scared little nerd anymore. You don't want to be a loser anymore. Won't you come on and join Squad Vamp? We'll take you to the right side. So he ends up, you know, overtaking evil Ed, and then Ed is now a creature of the night. All right, now we back to the club scene. While Charlie's over there doing all his power to snitch on the vampire, to tell on him, you know what I'm saying, to get all the police force out of him, he missing the main point that his vampire's after your girl, son. So we get into the middle of the club. They meet eyes, and it's this total sensual dance between the vampire and Amy, and it gets like super sexual. I think even one part, her hair is like regular Amy, then it's like, then it's all dazzled up and sexy like, and her blouse coming loose. You know what I'm saying? This is Marcy from Married with Children. I never thought of her as sexy ever. Like in the show, she looked like an 11-year-old boy, but like they glamour her up here pretty good. You know what I'm saying? To, you know what I'm saying, to make her sexual. And she's like doing things to the vampire that she never did to Charlie, you know what I'm saying? She's going down on her knees, coming up real sensual like, you know what I'm saying? There's hands up the blouse and shit, you know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, while you trying to snitch, you know what I'm saying? The vampire's taking your girl, you better pay attention. Charlie tries to run up, you know what I'm saying, and try to take her from her, like he, you know what I'm saying? Jerry Dandridge grabs his hand and like,
Filthy son of a bitch!
Shouldn't lose your temper, Charlie. It isn't polite.
You can't kill me here!
I don't want to kill you, Charlie. I want you to bring Peter Vincent to my house, just the two of you. That is, if you ever want to see Amy again.
you know, crush you down. Like, I don't want to kill you. You know, bring the ops to my house. You and Peter Vincent, just the two of you. You know what I'm saying? If you ever want to see your woman again, right? So, how embarrassing is this? No one believes what the fuck you saying, right? You know what I'm saying? You can got your main girl snatched by a vampire.
Mr. Pretty Tony, I mean, you know the rules of the game. I mean, your bitch just chose me. Now, we can settle this like you got some class, so we can get into some gangster shit.
Meanwhile, back at Jerry Dandridge's crib, Amy's there, you know what I'm saying? She wakes up, she got this beautiful fireplace. She wakes up, she sees her face over there, and then Jerry Dandridge enters the scene, and she's in this white gown, almost naked. You know what's up, right? Jerry Dandridge about to fuck your bitch. And that's what goes down, you know what I'm saying? If a term for the streets was ever applied, it'd be Amy. You about to have sex with a dead man, right? You know what I'm saying? And Charlie's still chasing after her. And Charlie ain't been hit yet, you know what I'm saying? But Jerry Dandridge did. Jerry Dandridge turned her out that way, and literally turned her into a vampire in the scene.
'Cause you gave me all your pussy, and you even licked my balls.
Charlie and Peter Vincent make it into the house to save Amy. They can't go by dawn because she'll be dead by dawn. You see what I did there? As soon as they enter the house, they enter the infamous staircase. I just think it's so dope. This staircase it just seemed vampiric or whatever. And then Jerry Dandridge just comes off with his long Leon press-on nails, you know what I'm saying, gripping the wood. They do a good job always showing his power, his dominance over, you know what I'm saying, humans. That's what I like.
Welcome to Fright Night. For real.
And he's like, welcome to Fright Night, for real. And then Peter Vincent pulls out a cross, like, stop! And he laughs at him and crushes the crucifix like a piece of Hershey's chocolate or s'more or some shit. You have to have faith for that to work. You know what I'm saying? Throws it away. And then Charlie comes out, I have faith. And then, I love this, Jerry Dandridge does this weird backup like, oh. But luckily, Jim Carrey, Jack Tripper, his boy Billy Coles comes to save the day and knocks Charlie off of the banister. And then Peter Vincent just cowers, you know what I'm saying? Peter, at this point, he's scared to death. He's petrified. This nigga's scared! So he runs to his mama house and he's like, your son's gonna be in trouble. Peter Vincent shows up to Charlie's mom's house to tell him that, you know, her son is in trouble. He's in the house with a vampire and I don't know what to do. I'm scared to death. But he walks into his mother's room and there he sees Evil. Evil has this weird raggedy ass mop all, you know what I'm saying, with this makeup and this wild teeth with the scar on his head. He looks fucking insane. And I love the actor here because he really hams it up. Like, his dinner is in the oven.
His dinner's in the oven.
You know what I'm saying? He really hams it up. Peter Vincent's scared to death, runs, and then a whole wolf comes out. Like, this is a real practical wolf. So we're dealing with 1985, 86. There's no such thing as CG. So this real wolf comes after him, runs after him, and he ends up getting a banister and he ends up stabbing the wolf. And the wolf falls, you know what I'm saying, down. You get this top shot with the chandelier and you just hear this horrible sound of this wolf dying. It's like, and it is sad, kind of, you know what I'm saying? But like, you see this, it's obviously a dummy wolf just like crawling, you know what I'm saying, under the banister to die like an animal will do, right? But then I think this is one of the best effect shots in the whole film. The werewolf transformation from the werewolf back to evil, you know. This is all practical, so you just see this thing impaled in him and this glorious special effects of this makeup, this werewolf. It looks scary, it looks wild, it looks real. And I think the trick of the editing is really what sells this effect, because like you see his hands melting back to the paw, back to like fingers, which I'm pretty sure was done in reverse. Not as good as like The Howling or American Werewolf in London, which won the Oscar for Best Werewolf, but it's still a standout werewolf transformation for the 80s, and you just see him change back to evil. Excellent editing here, from the action scene all the way to the transformation of the werewolf back to evil. And it actually is one of my favorite sequences of the whole film. You gotta imagine, I seen this in a drive-in in 1986 or 85 when it came out. And I couldn't believe what the fuck am I looking at here? You know what I'm saying? This is wild. You know what I'm saying? This is why people respect practical effects. You know, I'm a CG artist by trade, but don't get me wrong. I'm not one of those guys who shit on CG. If it helps tell the story better, it helps tell the story better. In this instance, this helped tell the story better. The werewolf transformation, as you actually see it in front of your face, you know what I'm saying, wow, and you see it die, and you kind of feel sorry for poor little evil, don't you? I did, a little bit. All right, at this point, Jerry Danvers is pretty much toying with Charlie. He throws her in the room with Amy, throws the stake down, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna need this just before dawn. Meanwhile, Amy's sweating like Chris Rock in New Jack City, Pookie, and that shit just be calling me, yo. And over at Charlie's house, Peter Vincent's there with a naked boy with a stake through his heart. I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna be in trouble, I'm just saying.
How you doing? All right, could you have a seat over in that chair, please?
Now it seems the only way to save Amy is to kill Jerry Danvers before dawn, and it turns her back to a human being. So this is when we get confronted by, you know, Billy, Peter Vincent, and Charlie, and then Peter Vincent has this old, you know what I'm saying, revolver, old school Western gun, like stop and I shoot, puts one right between his head, you know what I'm saying, he falls down the staircase. And then Jerry Danvers comes off like, and Peter, Charlie pulls the cross out on him like, we got him, and like, do you? And he disappears. And then Billy gets up, right? Billy Cole gets up. Peter Vincent puts at least 5, 6 more shots in him. He falls down again, comes back up the staircase with this Frankenstein ghoulish fucking walk and shit. Like what is he? You know what I'm saying? And then that's enough. Charlie stabs a stake through his heart, and he turns to this ghoulish mess. Like green jizz comes out his fingers and his legs and shit. It's just like disgusting, and he falls down the bones and dies. But this brings me to this question: what was Billy Cole? He was not just his weird Jerry Danvers' weird friend and shit. Like, what was he? Was he like Renfield? I guess, you know, like was he just like a ghoul? And he got stabbed in the heart, but he wasn't a vampire, but he was able to walk in the daylight. It's never really explained what he is, you know what I'm saying? I never understood what he is. I guess he was just this caretaker that wasn't quite a vampire. I don't know how this worked. Vampires, please comment below what exactly Billy Cole is. So at this point, Jerry Danvers is highly pissed off. You got these 2 assholes in your crib, you know what I'm saying, try to stab you through the heart, you know what I'm saying, with a stake, you know, and so he busts through this stained glass window, which you've been seeing the entire movie, you know, and then he confronts them, and then Peter Vincent pulls out the good old crucifix on him, and he starts laughing at him.
You have to have faith for that to work, Mr. Vincent. Remember?
It tells him he has to have faith in order for that to work. And this is where the cowardly lion gets his courage, and he's just back. Now I'm gonna try to recreate how Jerry Danvers sounds in this clip here.
You have to have faith for that to work. Remember? Mr. Vincent.
Charlie and Peter Vincent are now in the basement. It's time to destroy these creatures. Amy's now turned. Amy comes down the stairs. Now her hair is long and luxurious and red, right? And she's like this super over sexual vampire. Like, don't you want me now? Charlie pulls out the cross on her. Whoa, it wasn't my fault. Evil Dead style, you know, like to trick them like they're good, and they turn around. And then she turns around with this hideous.
Amy.
Grotesque jackal Joker appearance, like just full of shark teeth. It's like a shark teeth vampire. Her mouth is huge. It can't even crush. I think they used this for the poster, actually. I think they drew inspiration for the poster for this vampire look, and I think it's a very unique look for a vampire. I mean, it's wild. Let's just say this. I wouldn't want to know what that mouth do, you know what I'm saying? So this brings us to the conclusion of our movie. Peter Vincent ends up getting Jerry Dandridge's coffin open, get a couple pounds into the good old heart there with the stake there. Peter, the vampire wakes up, wilding out, and then somehow a stone or something hits a window. Light comes through, and then you got the vampire playing musical chairs with the different light sources that are coming through, trying to dodge them and get away, you know what I'm saying? But it's really no escape. So he ends up cornering Peter Vincent, and then Charlie runs over, you know, pulls the shroud behind, and then you just get a huge down forward Hadouken into the Jerry Dandridge's chest, and it flies him all the way back to the room. He bursts into flames. He's half man, half bat, half vampire on flames, whatever. That's the end. That's the end of the movie. Amy turns back to the regular, non-sexy Amy.
Fuck you, whore, drug addict bitch.
But I still say she for the streets, you know what I'm saying? What she did with that vampire, how you ever gonna forgive her for that shit? But he ends up forgiving her. They end up having a nice night at home watching Fright Night again. Peter Vincent has his job back, but not before an end credits when you see two red eyes and you hear Evil say, "You're so cool, Brewster," and which spawned a sequel. Now, yeah, Fright Night is one of my absolute favorite vampire films of all time. It came out in 1985, a time when vampires wasn't really in cinema at the time. The main, you know, box office winners were the slashers, were the Freddy Kruegers, were the Jasons and things like that. So they wasn't, vampires were around in the Hammer era in the 60s. So to see the vampires come back in like 1985 showed they could make money, you know what I'm saying, in the box office. This was a huge hit back in 85, which spawned the Lost Boys. If I had to pick between the two of them, Lost Boys and this one, I prefer Fright Night a little better. That's just my personal opinion. I think the main vampire, the antagonist, Jerry Dandridge, is menacing, he's scary, he's cool. You kind of want to be like Jerry Dandridge, you know. All the supporting cast play excellent, down to Evil Ed, down to Peter Vincent, down to the mother, down to Amy, who was on Married with Children, didn't think she can act like this. The special effects in 85 with no CG at the time were spectacular. The vampires were scary, you know, and then the threats, and it had a comedic element to it too, almost a coming of age story in a vampire tale. So that's why I mess with Fright Night. What's you guys' favorite vampire movie? Let me know in the comments below. We can have a good discussion. And as always, if you like this video, go ahead and hit me that like button. If you really like this content, consider subscribing to the Q Review family. And don't just stare at it, eat it. Peace.
I'm out cold, you hoes been exposed. Walk up on you slow with the foe and unload. You got more left for dead on the road. I strode when your car got